While the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is holding steady, Israel and the United States are struggling to find common ground. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and U.S. President Barack Obama, meeting for the first time in 8 months, were in sync over the battle against ISIL. CCTV's Jim Spellman has more.
There were no formal speeches or press conferences, just short comments to reporters before 2 hours of closed-door meetings. The relationship between the two leaders is described as tense. Both men took the opportunity to bring up disagreements between the U.S. and Israel. The recent conflict in Gaza killed more than 2,000 Palestinians, mostly civilians, and 70 Israelis, mostly soldiers.
We have to find ways to change the status quo so that both Israeli citizens are safe in their own homes and school children in their schools from the possibility of rocket fire, but also that we don't have the tragedy of Palestinian children being killed as well. And so we'll discuss extensively both the situation of rebuilding Gaza, but also how can we find a more sustainable peace between Israelis and Palestinians.
The United States provides about $3 billion a year in mostly military aid to Israel and helps fund the Iron Dome missile defense system that saved Israeli lives during the conflict. With negotiations over Iran's nuclear program slated to resume soon, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pressed U.S. President Barack Obama to keep sanctions in place.
As you know, Mr. President, Iran seeks a deal that would lift the tough sanctions that you worked so hard to put in place and leave it as a threshold nuclear power. And I fervently hope that under your leadership that would not happen.
Both men did find common ground on the fight against the Islamic State terrorists, and Netanyahu praised the U.S.-led coalition airstrikes in Syria and Iraq. After the meeting, a spokesman for President Obama sharply criticized a planned Israeli construction project in East Jerusalem, saying if the project goes forward, it could create distance between the U.S. and Israel. Palestinians hope that East Jerusalem, which was captured by Israel in the 1967 war, will one day be the capital of a Palestinian state. Jim Spellman, CCTV, Washington.